Greetings, fellow Mtwagazians. Hopefully, I find you wherever you are well on this very significant day, especially in the history of Mtwagazi. Let me begin by salutations to the National Accounting Council of Mtwagazi Democratic Alliance, to the Provincial Accounting Councils of Mtwagazi Democratic Alliance, to the District Accounting Councils of Mtwagazi Democratic Alliance, to the Ward Accounting Councils of Mtwagazi Democratic Alliance, to all Mtwagazi chiefs who are aligned to Mtwagazi cause, to all Mtwagazi residents across political divide, to all Mtwagazi religious associations, to all Mtwagazi business community members, to Mtwagazi lawyers associations, to Mtwagazi doctors associations, to Mtwagazi teachers associations, to Mtwagazi nurses association, to Mtwagazi students associations, to Mtwagazi people in general, everyone included. We don't want to leave any person from Mtwagazi. We value each and every person from Mtwagazi, to all the Africans and the people of the world who will listen to this speech. Fellow Mtwagazi people, as we witness this evil day once again, it is fundamental to note that Zimbabwe is led by the government that committed crimes against humanity, using our taxpayers, using our tax monies, refused to sign a United Nations resolutions seeking to protect vulnerable populations against genocides, war crimes, ethnic cleansing, and crimes against humanity. This on its own, fellow Mtwagazi people, highly expose our vulnerability as well as the evil situation we find ourselves in. We are led by people who want political criminals like them to be free and never to face the wrath of international law. This shows that we are led by unrepentant criminals with the potential of repeating the same humanity criminal offense and get away with it. Today, the 22nd of December, 2021, Mtwagazi Democratic Alliance decided not to sugarcoat this day, but rather to preempt why this day is celebrated by the Zimbabwe current establishment. Fellow Mtwagazi citizens, for us as the people of Mtwagazi, this is a day of mourning. There is absolutely nothing for us as the people of Mtwagazi to celebrate. This day, decorated as Unity Day, covers ruthlessness and the suffering of our people endured when they had to face the enemy unarmed, whilst it was fully armed and ready to spill the blood of our innocent, defenseless people. On this day, the political leaders who were supposed to protect us were put on the corner to silence and limit their political ambitions, freedoms of our people, and other necessary rights that are enjoyed by democratic societies. On this day, dictatorship was cemented and the Shona supremacy emerged as the winner of this day. This day meant that Shonalization was given a green light and the destruction of Mtwagazi languages began. It is on this day that our political sidelining was endorsed. This is the day that saw politicians from Mtwagazi only having the choice of being puppet politicians or being killed permanently. This is the day when fear reigned proud and tall in Mtwagazi. This is the day where economic and political crisis started. This is the day where our political space was closed for our people exercising political logic. This is the day, after years of butchering of Mtwagazi people by the current ZANU-PF establishment through the use of the military wing coded the 5th Brigade, whereby Joshua Nkomo decided to surrender to Robert Mugabe. In exchange, Mugabe was to withdraw the 5th Brigade in all the provinces of Mtwagazi and begin to unleash the 1979 Grand Plan unhindered. A one-party state was created and it began to do as it pleased, particularly to the people of Mtwagazi. During this day, Joshua Nkomo decided to allow ZAPU to be assimilated to ZANU-PF. He did not only do that, he also allowed to be given the position of being a second vice president. Up to today, this position in all the national parties of Zimbabwe is reserved to a person from Mtwagazi. It has set a precedent that should never be allowed, a precedent that must be fought by all Mtwagazi citizens. So, as I have said, from that day, we saw Joshua Nkomo endorsing and growing the influence of evil Zimbabwe. We heard him in some rallies calling for the people from Mutare and Mashonaland to come and work as public servants in Mtwagazi. Whilst he may have been doing this out of the goodness of his heart, these sentiments are used by the evil ZANU-PF regime to nationalize Mtwagazi, disguised as the fruits of the nonsensical Unit Accord, whom Nkomo was a signatory to without the consent of Mtwagazi people. This saw Mtwagazi police stations, schools, hospitals, banking institutions, NGOs, city councils and rural district councils, military, and all influential institutions nationalized. Should this development be celebrated in Mtwagazi? Definitely it must not, and it should never have been celebrated. This day started the underlying political crisis that extend up to this generation, and it is upon this generation to reverse this nonsense. So this political development saw a number of our schools receiving 0% pass rates because our local teachers were killed, replaced by incompetent and local language constrained Shona teachers. We saw a lot of our people receiving poor medical services due to language barrier and corruption which came with nationalization of Mtwagazi. We saw poor service delivery from our urban and rural district councils. Landlessness in Mtwagazi, we saw it also being the order of the day. We saw the rise of lack of property rights. Let me be clear. What you are celebrating termed Unit Accord was never about unity. The questions that should be asked to the enthusiasts of this day are as follows. Why was there a need for unity? Who was uniting with who, and after what? Was that unity necessary? In whose interest was this unity? Was this unity necessary and genuine? And what is the impact of this unity? These are the fundamental questions that we are supposed to ask, especially those from Mtwagazi who are celebrating this day. So, in simple terms, this unity accord, just like the 1923 referendum, which was done by the white colonialists to merge Zimbabwe, which is Mashonaland, and Matebeleland, which is Mtwagazi, in this case, was null and void. Our people have continued to ignore this horrific day, and they will continue to do so until justice prevails, through whatever means necessary, and it must be in our lifetime. That is the very important point which I must emphasize on. It must be in our lifetime. Fellow Mtwagazi people, MDA will seek to find out why the headmaster Ndala, Mr. Ndala, was taken away by the 5th Brigade thugs, and he never returned to his home. And his family up to today, what was the crime of a headmaster? His family, including Mtwagazi Democratic Alliance, would love to know where was Mr. Ndala killed and buried, and how was he killed? Just imagine the consequences of murdering Mr. Ndala to his family, the community, and the students. Just imagine the psychological impact of his death towards the children and the teachers of Mtwagazi at that school. Schools became genocide concentration camps like Zenka Missionary School. Imagine the pain felt by his children and the family. Mtwagazi Democratic Alliance will fight to know why Councillor Tutu was murdered in front of the students at Dandanda. What was the reason of conducting a daylight murder in front of the school-going children? MDA further wishes to know from ZANU-PF why Mr. Gwiti, a man who was mentally challenged, was killed in front of the students. Again, on that very painful and traumatic day. Mtwagazi Democratic Alliance would love to know why Aaron Sbanda from Mkuzana at Choloch, with other 5 fellow Mtwagazi citizens, were killed by the ruthless 5th Brigade state-sponsored military wing, quoted the 5th Brigade. As MDA, we need to know why Sinenhlanhla Moyo from Ekalaza, Ekwanda, Ematebeleland South was kidnapped with 7 others, cold-bloodedly killed and buried with leaves. We need to know why our relatives were asked to dig rocky surfaces and shot dead after failing to do so. We need to know why pregnant women's bellies were ripped open and died instantly, whilst the 5th Brigade thugs claimed to be seeking to find out the sexuality of the child who was regarded as a dissident. We would love to know why Mtwagazi teenagers were raped by the Gukurahundi soldiers and in most instances killed on the bushes. We need to know why people were thrown into mine shafts alive and left to die a very painful death resulting from injuries, gunshots, and hunger. We need to know why our relatives were thrown to the rivers and dams alive, dying a very painful death. We need to know why our neighboring countries have kept quiet about this matter. We need to know who will account for the blood of our people who crossed the borders, met their death in bushes while attempting to seek refuge, running away from the government which was anticipated to protect them, and it became the #1 enemy of the people. As MDA, we demand nothing less than justice. The justice that will ensure that those of our people who died painfully finally rest in peace. We do not advocate for the blood money to compensate our people, as no amount of money can restore those lives. The evidence on ground suggests that Gukurahundi was a genocide. As such, no government can be forgiven, especially for unleashing this nature of crime. The government wanted to eliminate our people in the face of Mother Earth. So as Mtwagazi people, we do not need them, as well as any of their suggestions regarding the genocide. The only thing they can do to us is letting Mtwagazi free in a peaceful manner. Mtwagazi people are peace-loving people, and it will do us good to have a peaceful transition. Let me conclude this speech by letting Mtwagazi people to be aware that the power to get out of this political arrangement is in us and begins today. As Mtwagazi Democratic Alliance, we are making a unilateral declaration that from today we will never see victory in the death of our innocent civilians through endorsing this day. So number one, we are not endorsing this day. Instead of celebrating this day, we will only observe it to remember our brothers and sisters who were butchered by the ZANU-PF regime through the 5th Brigade. This day ceased to be the Unity Day, and we revoke this Unity Day. We further declare Gukurahundi as a genocide and a crime against Mtwagazi people. We further declare ZANU-PF as the butcherer of our people. We will take from today the necessary steps to ensure that ZANU-PF and all those who are responsible account for the genocide. We want nothing less than justice. I have heard a lot of people trying to go to Emerson Mnangagwa, asking him to apologize. There is absolutely nothing to apologize about Gukurahundi. We need justice. Those people who died, those people who are still buried in an undignified manner, need nothing less than justice. So fellow Mtwagazians, today it is not the day to celebrate. Today it is the day to mourn. I decided to read this speech so that I portray the message as it is. We will do more as the years progresses. Next year we'll ensure that we do a much bigger commemoration to mark the death of our people. Today, as the people of Mtwagazi, we are mourning. We are in mourning. That's why we are lighting these red candles to mourn our brothers and sisters who were brutally killed by the ruthless regime of ZANU-PF. So today we don't celebrate anything. That is why we are wearing black. Black is meant to honor. It means we are still engulfed by the darkness of the Gukurahundi genocide. And red simply means we are recognizing the blood of our innocent brothers and sisters who died crying for help, who died at the mercy of the ruthless soldiers, having committed no crime at all. So this day, to us all as Mtwagazi people, it is a day of mourning. And we declare it from today as a day of mourning. We declare it as the Gukurahundi Genocide Commemoration. And all the years we shall celebrate this day, marking the death of our innocent brothers and sisters. I invite all of you Mtwagazi to join us in mourning our brothers and sisters who are still lying in shallow graves, who are still lying in undignified graves. We remember you and we say, may your souls, wherever they are, rest in peace. and if possible, help us to fight for freedom so that the future generations cannot experience what we are experiencing, and those that died, we can one day when we meet tell them the story that we managed to defeat the enemy. Thank you very much for joining us today. God bless you. God bless Mtwakazi. God bless Africa. Thank you very much.